Hey everyone, so it looks like Yoshi-P has put out another update when it comes to Q-Walker. I can only imagine how much stress Yoshi-P and his team are under, trying to fix all of these issues, and it's really nice to see them putting out constant updates. So let me start off by saying, the queues, they don't really bother me. They are annoying for sure, especially when you consider that a 3,000 person queue can be, around 2 hours of waiting, and that really sucks when you only have a few hours to play. On a more positive note, it does mean a lot of people are playing the game, and its success is being reflected by how long these queues are. Anyways, what starts becoming annoying is when you get a 2002 error, kicked out of the queue, only to log back in and find out you are back at the start. I have heard that if you are fast enough, your previous spot in line will be saved, but that hasn't been my luck whatsoever. Whenever I get booted, I start over from the beginning. Now, in all honesty, I haven't been 2002'd in a few days now, but my data center and server, well, they aren't the big popular ones, so maybe I might have lucked out there. Hey, but let me know, in the comments, are any of you still getting that 2002 error? If so, any luck getting back into the queue where you left off? Well, anyways, let's go into what Yoshi-P had to say about server congestion. I am not going to be reading the article word for word. This will be a summary. If you want to read the full article, I will have it linked in the description below. With all of that out of the way, let's start with the first topic, the current congestion situation. So, it's been 8 days since early access, and there's still congestion. Who would have thought, right? The peak number of players is lower. I'm guessing this is due to players finishing up the MSQ and not playing as hard. Yoshi-P is saying, well, players have been dispersing into different time slots. However, due to the resolutions made to the login cap, queue times have actually gone up. Like I said previously, I don't mind long queue times, it's just when you get booted out and have to start over that it starts to really grate on the nerves a bit. Second topic, Era 2002 and login queues. So this was broken into two subcategories. The first, if the number of players in the queue is at the maximum, then if you try to log in, when you get to the character select screen, you will be greeted with a 2002 error. This is because the maximum amount of players that the servers can handle in the queue is at the max, so it can't take you. Yoshi-P mentioned that they increased the maximum for the queue, so this problem shouldn't happen as much, but due to the increase in the maximum, queue times have increased overall. That makes sense. The more people that are allowed to be ahead of you in the queue, the longer the queue. The second subcategory is players getting 2002'd due to their internet connection. Essentially, if there's instability in the player's internet connection, you can lose your connection to the lobby server, and that will give you the 2002 error. He mentions that in this case, your spot is saved for tens of seconds, up to a minute, so if you hurry, you can possibly get back to where the queue was before being, kicked off. And Yoshi-P's advice here is that if you can, use a hardwired internet connection over Wi-Fi, since hardwired is more stable. I can personally attest to that. I used to play over Wi-Fi, and going to hardwired was the best decision I ever made. The game runs so much more smoothly now. Third topic, Error 4004 and outages of worlds/zones. So, this was also broken up into two subcategories. The first category deals with the 4004 error, and the first cause of the 3001 error. So essentially, all he had to say about this is that since the emergency maintenance on December 8th, and the emergency login maintenance on December 10th, that they have not observed these errors since. Error 4004 caused players to time out in queue or just before login, and Error 3001, well, that was outages across worlds or multiple zones. Now, the second cause of Error 3001 has to do with the Tonberry world, which is a very high population server. They were able to maximize the number of connections available to Tonberry, reducing the number of errors. However, during peak hours, it can still occur, and they can't add any more connections because that would lead to severe server instability. Yoshi-P mentions that they are monitoring other high population worlds to see if they need to increase the connections to them. And the last topic is occurrences of error 90,002/90,006 during cutscenes. So, the TLDR of this section is that it's the player's internet connection being at fault. They haven't observed anything from their end that would be causing these problems, but nonetheless, they are still actively looking into it. Yoshi-P reiterates that they are putting everything they have into easing congestion and ensuring stable operations, but due to the shortage of semiconductors, they cannot add new worlds immediately, but they are doing the best they can. So yeah, it looks like they are working very hard at making sure the game is up and running smoothly, but there's only so much they can do without being able to get new hardware. I don't envy their situation here. Over the course of a few months, Final Fantasy XIV's player base increased exponentially, and with COVID causing all of these problems, yeah, it's really not all that surprising. Personally, in the past few days, I've only gotten a 2002 error once, so it seems like the fixes that they have implemented, well, they're doing their job. At least for me. But as I said before, I am not on a world that has the hugest population. So, maybe I am just lucky. So, what have we learned here that was new? Well, it looks like the fixes that they implemented during those emergency maintenances did the trick, since they are no longer observing those errors anymore. They also increased connections to Tonberry, and are looking to maybe do the same for other high-pop servers. Other than that, they are looking into fixing other problems as well, and ask us to be patient. They are still trying to get the hardware to get new servers and implement new worlds, but until then, they are pushing their current hardware to the limits. Are you guys happy with this update? Has your ability to log in improved? I, for one, am happy that they are giving us such detailed updates at such a consistent basis. Anyways, that is all for this one. I do hope you are all having good luck in the queues, and enjoying your time in Endwalker. Please consider leaving a comment, liking, and subscribing, and have a fantastic day.